Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today I'm going to be talking all about my favourite brushes, what I use them for and how I clean them. So if you are interested in finding out all about that, then please keep watching. Okay, so I get asked about my favourite brushes all the time. What brush are you using? How much is it? Where can we get it from? So I'm going to go into that in the first half of this video. I'm not going to go into any eyeshadow blending brushes because I feel like I've already done that in a tutorial that I did not so long ago about how to blend eyeshadows. If you haven't seen that, I will link it up here. If you want to see what my favourite eyeshadow blending brushes are, it will be in that video there. So I'm going to just go into facial brushes today. I'm also not going to go into price in too much detail. I will link all the prices in the description box below if you're interested in knowing how much everything costs. A little bit later on in the video, I'm going to go into how I clean my brushes. It's such a simple process, but lots of you have been asking how often I clean my brushes and how I do it. So I will go into that a little bit later on in the video. So let's get on with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go into these in order that I would apply the products to my face. So after serums and moisturisers and all that jazz, I would apply my foundation. And you all know that my favourite foundation brush is the 103 Define Buffing Brush from Zoeva. Now we'll link all the information below, how much it costs, etc. But all these brushes you can get from the Beauty Bay website, either in the US or in the UK. I would advise getting a set if you want quite a few of these brushes because it's cheaper to do it that way than buy every single brush individually. Obviously, if you're just wanting one brush, it's cheaper to do it that way. But if you're wanting a selection, you can get quite a few packs of brushes online, and that is the best way to do it. So this is the 103 Define Buffing Brush from Zoeva. It's actually quite a dense brush, but it's very, very soft, and you get an extremely flawless application of foundation every single time you use this brush. You can also use it for applying any primers that you want to apply to the skin. I tend to apply my primers using my fingertips, but if you want to use a brush, this is an excellent brush to do that with as well. So that's the 103 Define Buffing Brush from Zoeva, and I will link the price in the description box below. The next brush I always use is the 142 Concealer Buffer Brush from Zoeva. Again, this is an amazing brush. It is extremely dense with bristles, but again, extremely soft. So you can stipple the concealer onto the skin without applying too much pressure at all, and it just goes on absolutely seamlessly. So this is my second favourite brush that I actually own, and it's the 142 Concealer Buffer Brush from Zoeva. And again, I will link the price in the product description below. So the third brush that I use is the 227 Luxe Crease Brush by Zoeva. Now this is primarily used for eyeshadow blending, but I like to apply my under eye powder with this because it doesn't hold too much product. It's very, very fluffy and very, very soft. So you can just apply the right amount of product and not too much underneath the eye. It's absolutely perfect for setting the under eyes. Now, you don't need to go out and spend a fortune on this brush. This brush came in the set, which is why I use this one. So don't feel like you've got to go out and buy this brush to set your under eyes. Any brush of this sort of look will be great for setting your under eyes. So this is a lovely brush, but I only tend to use this because it came in the set. So I just want to tell you that before you go and spend an absolute fortune on this brush. So the brush I use for setting my face is not from Zoeva. This is actually a Bare Minerals brush, and it's the Precision Face Brush. It is extremely dense. This is one that I bought to apply mineral foundation, and it's excellent for that because you can get the mineral foundation on the end of the brush and just pat it in place, which is why it's so good for applying powder to the face. You can get a very little amount on this brush, and a little goes a very long way if you just pat that in place. No dragging, no swirling, just pat it in place, and it's absolutely amazing. I will link the price in the product description below, but I absolutely love this brush. But again, the only reason I have this brush and the only reason I've tried it is because I bought it alongside some mineral foundation that I bought from Bare Minerals. But it's an excellent, excellent brush, extremely dense, extremely flat, and you can really get the product in your skin without applying too much pressure. Love this brush. So the next brush I use every single day is the 106 Powder Brush by Zoeva. Now I don't use this for powder. As I've said, I use the Bare Minerals Precision Face Brush for powder. I use this one for bronzer because it is so lovely and soft and actually quite a big brush. And I don't like to be too precise when I'm applying my bronzer. I don't like it to look too stripy. I like it to be blended quite nicely. And I find that this brush does that perfectly. So it's a really quite big brush, but it's so soft. It really does feel soft. It's not one of those brushes that's going to damage the skin. It doesn't feel like sandpaper on the skin, which I really can't stand when you go over it quite a few times and your skin can get quite sore. This is not one of those brushes at all. It's so beautiful and so soft, and I highly recommend it. So that's the 106 powder brush by Zoeva. And again, this came in a set. I think all these came in a set apart from the Bare Minerals brush. So can't remember exactly how much the set is, but I will link it below. So the next brush I use on a daily basis is the 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek Brush by Zoeva. This is such a beautiful brush, not just because it's soft like the rest of them, but it makes it so super easy to blend out any blusher on your cheeks without irritating your skin. And also it's got a slight angle to this brush, which makes it really easy to blend all your products together. I really like this. I cleaned it yesterday, and I've probably cleaned this brush about 30 times, and it still looks as good as the day that I bought it. And I think that makes a huge difference. When you invest in really good brushes, you can really give them some hammer, clean them all the time, and they scrub up just like they did when you first bought them. This looks new, and it's not. It really isn't. So the last brush I'm going to show you today is the 129 Luxe Fan Brush by Zoeva. I absolutely love this brush. I use it every single day, and it allows you to put your highlighter on in a more natural way because you don't get masses of products on the cheeks, and it just hits where you want it to. Now, I've got this because it came in a set, and I'm not saying that everybody should go out and buy this brush and buy it at the individual price. By all means, if you get it in the set, it's a lovely brush. But if I didn't have this, I would probably just use a different brush, and I wouldn't be any the wiser. So yes, it's a brilliant brush. Yes, I use it every single day. It's a really nice texture to it as well, and allows you to get just the right amount of product on the cheekbone without it looking ridiculous. But I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy this, and I definitely wouldn't recommend that you go out and buy it at its individual price. Beautiful brush if you get it in the set. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing all my favourite brushes. If you want to know how I clean them, then please keep watching. So today I'm going to show you how I clean my brushes so that they're completely free of product and also bacteria. This is the Zoeva 103 Define Buffing Brush, which you all know is my favourite brush of all time. It's sat on a bog standard microfiber cloth. These come in packs of 3 in the UK from Primark, and they're around about £2.50. So they are really cheap, but they are invaluable in this process. Can I just say before we start, I do apologise about the poor lighting in this room. This is my bathroom, it's not my studio, so I don't have professional lighting in here. And also, if the sound quality is poor on this video, this is the first time that I've used my brand new vlogging camera, and I have no idea how good the inbuilt microphone is in this camera. So if the sound quality is poor, I do apologise. The next product I'm going to be using today is the Real Techniques Brush Cleansing Gel. You don't need to use this specific brush cleansing gel, but this is $7.99 from Superdrug in the UK. I have no idea if you can get this in the US. I will have a look, and I will link it in the description box below if you can actually get it, but any brush cleansing gel will be absolutely fine. If you can't get your hands on a brush cleansing gel, I have only recently purchased this. I've been using it for around about 3 months now, but before I was using that brush cleansing gel, I was using a bog standard hand wash. As long as the hand wash is very gentle, and also very important that it is antibacterial. So you must make sure it's antibacterial and it's gentle, and you should be absolutely fine to use this with your brushes. As long as you purchase good brushes, this shouldn't harm them in the slightest. So let's get on with actually cleaning the brush. So first of all, I'd just dampen the end of my brush in a little bit of water. I'd then get the Real Techniques product, and I'd just squeeze a tiny bit onto the end of that brush. And then I would massage that into the brush and just pat it very gently into the sink, just to make sure that that product is evenly distributed throughout the brush. As you can see now, the foundation has started to bleed, and you'll get a little bit of the product on the sink itself. I've only been using this for a couple of days, so there isn't loads of product in there to come out. I do clean my brushes quite regularly. I get asked this all the time, which is why I'm making this video. I like to clean my brushes at least once a week, and I'm the only one using them, but I do like to keep them nice and clean. Especially as I have quite problematic skin, so I definitely don't want to have any bacteria lurking in my brushes. So once you've done that, you just pop the water on again and rinse that clear. As you can see, some of the product's coming out of there, and you would rinse this until the water runs clear. If it doesn't run clear in the first try, you just repeat this process all over again. So when you finish, you just squeeze the excess water out of the end using your fingers. You can also apply the cleansing gel with your fingers and massage that in with your fingers. This is a really good idea if you've bought brushes that aren't as good a quality, because you're going to have to be a little bit more gentle if that is the case. And then you get your microfiber cloth and you just dab that on. Now, as you could see, the water ran completely clear when I was rinsing this brush. But if you can see on the white microfiber cloth, there was still some dirt in there. And the microfiber cloth really grabs onto that and make sure that your brush is completely clear. So I've repeated the process, and as you can see, there is no further product in the brush. It is completely clean. Using a microfiber cloth is not only a great way of making sure that your brush is completely clean, but it also dries out the brush a lot quicker than you would if you just left it on the side to air dry. Obviously, I would now leave this to air dry, but it would take half the amount of time as it would if I hadn't used the microfiber cloth. You can also spritz the ends of the bristles with a hand sanitizer spray. This is not something that I particularly like to do, because I do think the alcohol in the hand sanitizer spray is a little bit too harsh on the bristles of my brushes. So I like to make sure that my brushes are completely clean and bacteria free just from doing the process that I did earlier with the brush cleansing gel or the hand wash and the microfiber cloth. And that's how I clean my brushes. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget, I'm also on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook if you'd like to follow me on there as well. My Instagram is a little bit more of a look into my personal life, so my kids are there, my husband, what we get up to on a daily basis, as well as the whole makeup world. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye!